Roughly 20 million people in the United States are suffering from depression, and 1 out of 4 Americans have or will experience depression. So, why are there so many depressed people? Can it be explained biologically? Well, in the beginning, researchers believed it was a chemical imbalance in the brain and that decreased levels of serotonin was the culprit.
Serotonin is known to be a feel-good chemical, so when patients were prescribed medicine with serotonin, it helped ease their symptoms. Yet depression is more than just a simple correction of chemicals. In recent studies, researchers have discovered that the brain cell growth and cell connections have a key role.
When viewing the brain of a depressed person, the hippocampus is smaller than average. There are other parts of the brain that are affected. However, the hippocampus controls memory and emotion. The longer the person is depressed, the smaller their hippocampus becomes, which means the cells are literally deteriorating.
Stress plays a critical role on the deterioration of the neurons. Through stimulation of neurons and various cells in the hippocampus, it is able to regenerate. Regeneration of the hippocampus was a mood booster for most patients.
Fascinating enough, many of the drugs that include serotonin have an indirect effect on brain cell growth. That is why the medicine works for some people, but not the way we believed it was working. Antidepressants that include serotonin promote the release of other chemicals within the brain that in turn help stimulate neurogenesis, which is a growth of new neurons.
Due to this news, researchers now believe that antidepressants should be made in order to directly affect neurogenesis instead. However, chemicals in neurons are not the only factors in depression. There's a genetic component to depression as well. Studies have concluded that a variation within the serotonin transporter gene can result in a person being more vulnerable to depression. Each person has 2 copies of this gene, one coming from their father and another coming from their mother. There are 2 variations of the gene, short and long. 800 young adults were analyzed for 5 years and the following was concluded. 33% of individuals with one short gene became depressed after stressful life events, and individuals with 2 short genes were worse, yet individuals with 2 long genes were less likely to become depressed with the same life stresses. It is extremely hard to pinpoint one cause of depression because there are so many factors that contribute to if a person becomes depressed. People must remember, though, that depression is a disease that can be attributed to biology, but also psychological and social implications. Many people can't just get over it. It is necessary for people to be educated on this.
Yes.